Hello everybody, we're starting with the part 3 of the Acceleracers video Origins. The first part was about the Highway 35 wall race and the second part was about actually the Acceleracers. And now we are going to continue with the series that came after the Acceleracers. I don't remember the exact year. There was 2 seasons I think, and the name was Battles Force 5. How we are going to start? We are going to start with this car. If you remember, I was telling you about the power rage in the Acceleracers video and that we should remember this car for the next video, for the Battles Force 5 one. And something I forgot, you remember, this one was driven by Bert Wheeler, basically the protagonist in the first two editions, like the Highway 35 World Race and the Acceleracers, and of course he's also the protagonist on this one, in the Battles Force 5. He was driving this car, but what I forgot to mention is that after that he destroys the Deora 2 and destroys the Power Rage, he goes to the motorcycle of the TQ team, that is the Nightlife, that is appearing here. The Nightlife was never created, just like the other 3 motorcycles that we mentioned. The only motorcycle created from the Acceleracers was the Jaw Jammer. I forgot that detail, so I'm adding it here. So, as I was saying, this is the car that Bert Wheeler was driving in a part of Acceleracers, and this is the car that he is driving when the Battles Force 5 series begins. But instead of having it in this color, the car is fully red with these white accents. This car has never been released, so this is how we start. We start with a Power Rage and with a car that has never been made by Hot Wheels, right? So in this history, this car, the Power Rage, it's transformed into this. It becomes the Saber. The Saber has 2 sides. You can drive it like this, or you can drive it like this, and that's why it's also red. It's because it's kind of a transformation from the red Power Rage, and it's driven, as I was saying, by Bert Wheeler. Now, this video is going to be a lot shorter because number 1, there's less cars, there's only 18. Number 2, I didn't watch Battle Force 5 that much. It's in my watch list, but I haven't watched it yet. So I just know the cars and some of the things that happen in the series, but not everything. So now everything transformed into, it was racing, of course, but this time it was more like a superhero show. The Battles Force 5 team is a team of 5 cars that is trying to fight against the Vandals, against the Sarks, and at some point are against the Red Sentients. And there's one Sentient, I don't remember her name, but she is the one that kind of transformed the Power Rage into the Saber. So this is the first car. This is, of course, the car from the Battles Force 5 team. Then Agura Ibaden, I think that is the name of the girl that is driving the Tangler ATV. This car has never, I think that these cars have never been released in other series. They were all first editions when they came out in Battles Force 5, and I think that they have never been used again outside Battles Force 5. That is quite a big car. It doesn't fit in any Hot Wheels track. I have tried, so if you want to try on your side, but yeah, this is kind of the Spider all-terrain vehicle from the Battles Force 5. Then we continue with the third car from the Battles Force 5 team, and this is driven by Isaac Rhodes the third, I think that is the name of the guy, and I never agree with this. The name of this car is Reverb again. It was the name of the car of the previous story, the protagonist car, let's say, and then they come and put the same name to a car that, well, is not really a protagonist in this story. It's not a bad car, but yeah, I thought that if they are using the same character, Bert Wheeler, they should at least kind of take care or respect the name of the previous car, but that's what they choose. So this is another Reverb in a different design, a different car. To continue, we go for the first motorcycle, or the only motorcycle that was released in the team, the Battles Force 5. This is the Chopper, and Sum Takasumi was the driver, if I'm not wrong. In the series, these cars kind of transform, and for example, the Chopper becomes kind of a drone. It opens the wheels, and yeah, well, that's it. Also, you can see these connections here. All the cars came with some weapons. that I don't have here, so I cannot show them to you, but of course I was more interested in the vehicles than in the weapons. The next one and the last one of the original 5 in the Battle Force 5, this is driven by two brothers, the Cortez brothers, Sherman and Spinner, I think, and this is the Buster tank. And of course, just like with the other one, you could open this part and put some kind of a weapon here below, and yeah, this was kind of the protection of the team. As I was saying, this stopped being about racing and it was more about superheroes and saving stuff. So yeah, so this is the team. These were the first 5 cars. These were the first, I think that it was the first season that included only these 5 cars from the Battle Force 5 team. Then I think that it was in the season 2 that Battle Force 5 became Battle Force 5 Fuse, and 2 new cars appear in the Battle Force 5 team. So it was not Battle Force 5 anymore, it was Battle Force 5-7 probably, but they never changed the name. And this is the split wire, and it was driven by Tess Volitov. And so from the first season I watched some chapters, so I have an idea, but for Fuse I don't think that I watched anything, so I cannot really tell you anything about this car or about the driver because I really don't know. What I know is that it was called Battle Force 5 Fuse because some of the cars starting to fuse together. They were doing some combinations. This was the 164 release, of course, but there was also in bigger scales. There was also figures and everything. For sure you can find them in internet. And there was also some releases in 143 scale and in 164 scale about the Fuse cars, but I was not interested in them, so I don't have them. But yeah, but the split wire, I think that it was a really interesting car. It looks kind of a BMW i8, you know? Well, or what do you think? But I like the car, so I include it in the collection. Then for the last one, also from Battle Force 5 Fuse, is the AJ Dalton, I think that is the driver, and this is the Gear Slammer, and it was kind of, as you can see, kind of a crane that was a tow truck that was helping the team with the big movements in the realms, right, in the races or competitions, wherever it was. So this is the Gear Slammer, and these are the 7 cars from the Battle Force 5 team. Then we move to the bad guys, and these guys were the Sark, and these were kind of what came after the racing drones, you know, like the cybernetic beings that were trying to destroy or get some information. So this was the Sark. And the bad guy Zemeric was the main antagonist, let's say, from this group, and this is his car. This is the Zilix. It was kind of a phantom car with all the translucent green color. I think that actually the combination with the translucent green wheels and this darker green looks really nice. And there was another car that was part of the Sarks, and is the Sendril that you will see here. This one was actually driven or controlled by Sark. There was only one prototype ever seen in China somewhere. The car was never released into production, so this one doesn't really exist. And then the next one that came from the Sark was this one. This one is the Sedner, and it was driven by the Sark. So these ones are kind of the genetic drones that were driving a bunch of these guys. These guys were like ants. I will move the camera so you can see the package of this. This is how the package of the Battle Force 5 look. This one was one of the oldest, and it was my holy grail for the Battle Force 5. It took me several years. I got it recently, I think that 1 or 2 years ago. It took me a while to finally get the Sedner. And these guys were like ants. There was a bunch of them. There was just one Zemeric with one Zilix. I think that the Sendril they were using from time to time because it was the big one making the holes. But this one, there was a bunch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm finally going to open it so I can have it with all my collection. And here you can see also the weapons, right? These are the weapons that were included. You can put this on the car. And all of them have the same. So okay, so I'm going to open this one and I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera down again so we can focus on the rest of the cars. Good. And I'm going to focus on this one, and this is the Sedner. As you can see, has similar colors to the Silix over there, driven by Zemeric, and well, it's just like the same type of car, right? And here, this one, of course, you could put this here. It was fitting, and it was kind of the weapons that they were using during the competition with the other cars. So I never use this kind of weapons. I always save them somewhere, but I never exhibit them with the cars. So this is the Sedner, and then you can see my Holy Grail finally in my hands to complete my Battle Force 5 collection. Now, after seeing the Battle Force 5 and the Sarks, we are going to move to the Vandals. The Vandals was this kind of animal figures, but they were like humanoids, and the leader of the group was Calus, and he was driving the Fangor, that is kind of a catapult. To be honest, this car never looked exactly like the one in the series. It was a really weird car. It looks a bit like the Gotta Go from the mainline, if I think so. It's supposed to be like a carriage, you know, like a carriage pulled by horses, I think. So it's a weird release. But during the Battle Force 5 Fuse, the car was upgraded, let's say. I don't know if in the series the car actually changed, or because the first release of the Fangor was not that good, they decided to do a new one. And as you can see here, this one has the full catapult, and it's a completely new design of the Fangor. And this is what I wanted to tell you, like, about the carriage, right? Like if it was like pulled by horses. So the cars have exactly the same name, Fangor and Fangor, but this is referred to sometimes as the Fangor 2.0 because it was the second release. The same driver, Calus, from this guy, and this was, as I said, from the season 2. Then you can see some of the, how you say, soldiers of the Vandals, and one of them was Crocomodo, that it was driving this car, that is the Reptile. Crocomodo, of course, is a reptile, so the Reptile makes absolute sense. There's no other feature on this car. It's kind of an all-terrain vehicle. These ones were more addressed to kids, so the parts, the designs are a bit more funky, I would say. Then Sever, that was from the water. The name of the car is actually Water Slaughter, and as you can see, is just a shark. This one fell and broke, as you can see, the fin, so I have to glue it, not very nicely, but I made it survive, right? So this is the Water Slaughter, and because I have this shark now, every time that Hot Wheels release kind of a shark car, I get it. Just because I have this one, is kind of I follow up with the rest. The real color of the car in the series was completely blue, so this one, there is kind of a combination, kind of the sea. It's just a release that Hot Wheels did afterwards. I never got the blue one, so this one was enough. So this is the Water Slaughter, and then we came from one that was part of the season 1, but it was not released until later on. So this was not released with the first cars. It was released like a few years later, and this is the Scarab, and it's being driven by Hatch. It's kind of an insect, as you can see, and the car, just like some of these designs, is a bit weird, and I think that there was an open canopy, but maybe not. I never tried it, but no, I think that it's bolted here, so I don't think that it's going to open. But yeah, so this is the Scarab. And the last one of the Vandals came in the Battle Force 5 Fuse, the season 2. This is the Prime Evil, and it was driven by Grimian. And this one opens here, so you can see like kind of a primate view here when you open it, like primate face. And Premium came as the challenger for Calus, right? Somehow they were not happy with the results that the Vandals were having against the Battle Force 5 team, so Premium came kind of as a challenger to take the leadership of the team. Good. So these were Battle Force 5, the Sarks, and the Vandals, and the last, let's say, releases were from the Red Sentients. The Red Sentients, the Blue Sentient, and I don't remember her name, was the main character that was kind of, you know, if you ever watch Power Rangers, you know, Sordon. So this girl was like the Sordon of the Battle Force 5 guys. She was helping them a lot. But then turned out that there was the Red Sentients as well, and these guys were the bad ones. They were the one that wanted to destroy everything, and they were using 5 cars. The first of those cars and the leader of those guys was the Cypherius. Cypherius was this one, and it was driven by Kratos. I cannot tell you let's say, why the guys were doing this, why the cars appeared there, because I never watched that part of the series. When I saw the cars were released, I just wanted to get them for the collection. So one of the 5 is this one, the Cypherius with Kratos, and it's a really interesting, different car. And this one I will put it somewhere here. For the second one, we go with Venicus. Venicus was driven by Kiburi, and this one is also a similar kind of a competition to the Tangler ATV, a big, high car with several wheels, a kind of a spider-ish car. So yeah, this is what we saw in the Venicus. Really kind of geometrical designs, as you can see for the Red Sentients. I will put this one here. The third one, I'm going just to put a picture. It was the Syntrax, and the Syntrax was driven by Kirosis. But this car was never released. So it was just shown a few prototypes at some point in Hot Wheels collectors, but then it was never released. The next one that was released by the number 4, this one is the Bilirex, and it was driven by Kitren. This is kind of a motorcycle, but as you can see here, the interesting part is that you can move the wheel, and you have this, because I suppose that when he's driving, he's like turning, right? So kind of the wheel that General Grievous was riding in episode 3 in Star Wars. So this is the Bilirex, and it was actually the last one that was released, because there was another one, because I said 5, of course, and that was the Cinotaur, and it was driven by Krilox, and you can see the picture here. Also never released, just some picture shown by Hot Wheels collectors. And one more, this guy I'm not sure, but it was some kind of guide, just like this Blue Sentient. The name of this motorcycle is the Greenstone, and the rider was Rockus, and it was kind of a ancient one, just supporting the Battle Force 5 team, but also never released. So as I said, this was a lot faster. This is what came after Acceleracers. After they closed with Battle Force 5, we have never heard anything about the character, specifically Joseph Birdwheeler. That was the only character that was present in the 3 series until now when they are starting to release Acceleracers again, but not new stories, just some kind of a heritage of the cars, like some re-releases of the cars that existing, just kind of as a gift from the collectors and from the fans all the time. So that's it for everything that I wanted to show you. Let's go to the closure of this whole series. Well, what do you think? Like, this is all the story, everything that I know about Highway 35, Acceleracers, Battle Force 5. There's a bunch of other collectors. There's actually specific channels dedicated only to Acceleracers. It was a really successful series, as I was explaining you. I personally love it. Why? Because it's the reason that I'm here, right? It's the reason that I'm having all the cars, because I started with those little cars from Highway 35. That's how I fell in love with Hot Wheels, and well, you just fall down the rabbit hole, right? But yeah, I love them. I'm happy that they are back. I'm happy that they are having a specific like release, heritage release for all the fans. I'm not sure about the quality. I was showing you pictures when I was showing you the cars. I was showing you some pictures there. Anyway, it's a nice comeback. There's already some basic models being released, which is also nice, besides the whole Silver Line collection. I hope that I answer some of your questions. If not, please go and check out these other channels, all these other videos. They have a bunch of information, a lot more accurate history. A lot of years ago there was Axilipedia.com page, where it was kind of a Wikipedia information about all the universe, about Highway 35, Acceleracers, and Battle Force 5. I haven't seen it in several years. I don't think that the site is active anymore. Maybe it is. Maybe it will be reactivated after this. We don't know. What else is going to come from Acceleracers and Hot Wheels? Only time will tell. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like this type of content, and turn on the notification bell so you are informed when I release a new video. Until the next time, my name is JR. Thanks for being here and see you next time. Adios.